Jackie Thornton here. Thanks for joining me again today. We're going to be using our gorgeous coffee suite, the coffee break suite in the latest catalogue. And I love using the suite, as you'll see in my past videos. I've done quite a few cards using it. We're going to use the die cuts from this, and as you can see below there on the low page, we have some samples of the die cuts. Here they are. We're going to be using the medium cup and the little lid, and the little cup, and the little band that goes around the cup. So we're going to use quite a few pieces of that. So let's get started. We're going to first of all need some some tools, some stamps and things. So let's have a look at that. And the first stamp we're going to use is Picture Perfect Birthday. And we're going to take the Happy Birthday stamp from this set, and we're going to use that. We're also going to use the Coffee Cafe die set, like I said. And I just wanted to show you how I store them in with my stamps. Boy, my stamps look a bit messy, but yeah, we'll sort that out later. Okay, so we're also going to need the embossing folder, which is the lovely stripe, and I also think that that actually looks like wood as well, of the side of a house, the black ink pad, and my wonderful punch, lace punch, that I use quite often. So there's our tools. Now let's get on to the next step, which is what we're going to need in the way of cardstock. Well, first of all, we're going to need some Whisper White. Now this Whisper White is measured 15 centimetres by 21 centimetres 0.5, and that is scored at 10.5 centimetres, so in the centre there. We're also going to use some Designer Series paper, and this is from the collection out of the latest catalogue, and we're going to need that to be 14.5 centimetres by 10.2 centimetres, and you're going to need all these strips cut at the same size. So we're going to use the Designer Series paper, just a different variation. We're going to use some gorgeous lime, and we're going to use our pink card as well, and that is 1 centimetre by 14.5 centimetres. So all 6 pieces cut at the same, and the powder pink 6.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. And that we will be embossing with our embossing folder. Right, so first things, we need some extra scraps. Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and powder pink, and we're going to cut our little wee cup out of that. Also, I've got this Dazzling Diamonds card and the gorgeous vellum. So if you don't have any of this, of course you can use anything out of your stash that you have at home. This is just what I've chosen to use today. Now, first up, I'm going to adhere this main piece onto the front of the card, and then I'll let that dry. Now, you may have noticed in my last few videos, I have been using Tombow a lot on my cards. And I'm finding it the best adhesive to be able to move around and get everything exactly precise. And with the other adhesives I have, once it's down, it's down. There is a place for those adhesives, but I find when I'm doing these type of cards that my Tombow glue is fantastic. So I've just ordered myself 3 more bottles, and I'm sure I'll go through them quickly. But anyway, let's get to this pink, powder pink. Let's pop it into the embossing folder and close that up. I will now pop that through the die cut machine, or the embossing, which is our big shot. Now you'll see 2 sides. I'm going to go with the risen side, and I've just sped the video up a little bit because this takes a little bit of time. This is how we're going to place these die cuts out, and we're going to run them through the machine. And we're also going to run the vellum through. We're going to need 3 of those, and we're going to need 3 of the Dazzling Diamonds cardstock. So I've pre-done those and cut them out. We just need the 3, just making sure you've got that. Okay, so we'll just clear those off because I have pre-cut them, and we'll bring them in now. So what we're going to do is pop this all together. Now I am going to use my snail adhesive, and that's mainly because I want that card to adhere very quickly because I'm going to be working with it. Glue that down, then just pop it up the side. Now we're going to go to our embossed card, and I'm going to use this because we want that to adhere quickly too, because we're going to actually pop these strips down the side. Now if this was the Tombow glue, it would be moving still too much, and I need to work with it quite a bit. So all I'm doing is I'm just showing just a tiny wee piece of the card out the side. Of course you can put as much out as you like. I'm only choosing to have a little bit of it showing, and this is so easy to do it this way. I've done it many ways and found this is the easiest way to pop it all together. Then you just match up and make sure you've got the same amount showing on both sides. Stick that down, and then you're going to run through your punch through the strip and punch out your lace trim. And I've pre-done this just to save us a little bit of time. Put some adhesive back on the back there and do the same thing with these lace strips and just line it up. I just used the little holes and made sure that it was straight by matching up between the holes. Now I've just realized before you put the lace on, we are going to stick on our bow, and that's just so it doesn't crush the lace and it just stays straight. So just a simple little bow, couple of times round with that twine, get it where you want it, and then of course you then pop the lace on the back. Right, now we can get back to where we were. Line up those holes and then you'll get it on straight. And it works every time. There we go. Okay, now you're going to want to trim that and tidy that piece up. So I just go through and trim it all up. Isn't it pretty? I love that lace. So we'll just trim that over. And there you have it. Isn't that gorgeous? Now you can use that for absolutely any card. You can put anything in there. Maybe it's a birth of a baby, a happy birthday. I've used it many times actually, and that's why I wanted to share it with you today, because it is a good base to every type of card. Right. Okay, so that's all adhered on there with the Tombow. Use that again because I can move it around. Now this is where we want to place all our bits and decide where we want these lovely little coffee cups stuck in the back. So they're going to be our background to the card. We're just going to adhere those in different ways. And so this is me getting great positions for these, and just before I glue them down, because the last thing you want is to have them in the wrong place and feel uncomfortable about where you have placed them. So lift that back off and then just sort of adhere them in the best place you can, sort of where you can remember you've popped them. It is only a guide. That cup is going to go over the top of them, and they are only just a decoration in the background, so it's nothing to, don't get too worried about where and precisely you're going to put them. It's just a guide. Now you can use this sort of technique of popping things, other images in behind a main image, once again with many of the dies in the Stampin' Up collection. It's just how you use it. And I like using the vellum this way because it's a good, subtle, lovely, subtle way of using it. So now we're just going to pop some ribbons underneath, and I'm going to go with the lime and the yellow, mainly because that is the colours we're using in this card. Now the best way to adhere these and to keep them in place is to use your snail, because that's it's adhering instantly. And it's basically just a case of placing them across. Glue them nicely, and then you can adhere that. I'm going to pop these up with dimensionals so that it actually pops that coffee cup up off the card. Just gives a different dimension to our card. Right, this is the tricky bit, we all know what it's like getting the bits off the back. Okay, finally I have that completed. Let's pop this onto the card front, and there you have it. Isn't that pretty? I love it when you can use different dimensions of cards, your ribbons, your vellums, your twines, your lace punches and things. And I think that's why I did a card like this, was so that I could get different looks with it and different textures going. So I'm just going to get a bit of black whisper white, a bit of black, basic black here, and just ink that up. Got my stamp on, and I'm just going to pop it with our white ink, and I'm going to turn this into a little banner, so we need to just clip that. So it's basically just making it, cutting it to size, just trimming down those outside pieces. And then we're going to put the little, sort of what I call little flag ends into that label piece to give it a nice little tidy look. And just even it up on the other side. Now when you're doing these little ones, you noticed I put a cut down into the center, and then you just work to that cut. Make sure that you get it evenly on both sides. Now I'm just going to pop a couple of dimensionals on the back, and that's going to pop that up. Because when we place this onto the card, over the cup is already risen, so we need to pop this. You'll see as I put the dimensionals down, goes either side of the cup, which means that you do need to use the dimensionals with that cup being risen. Okay, next I'm going to add a couple of little wee embellishments, because there is no card completed unless you put extra little embellishments on there. Now I'm going to have a look and see if I can find a lime one to go with this, because I have a stash of these. And I'm going to find that lime one if it's the last thing I do. I have about roughly about four different greens, so I want to get the right green. Yeah, I should have gone with that in the first place. Okay, let's put that star down and give you this finished look. Doesn't that just finish it off? Okay, let's fold this card and take a look. So there it is, all finished up. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Now this is one that I did yesterday, and I just switched it around a bit really, just swapped the lime and the pink out and just gave you a different look to look at. So there we have it, our two finished cards, and look out for my new videos coming up. I'd love you to subscribe to my channel, and that's just easy by pushing the subscribe button down below. If you want to be notified when that does arrive into your box, press the little bell which is just next to it. Thanks for joining me. Bye.